I'm gon' make it, I'm gon' take it, I ain't waiting, no. Cause I'm racing, no debating what they hating for. I just do this for the music, it's the truth in me. No confusing what I'm doing, ain't no...
RUMCHATS, we got our first debut guest here with me today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Straight out of Toronto, the 6, however you call it. Represent, put it on, just to talk to you. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? It's Fortunato here, live from Toronto, doing my thing here on the show. What's up?
How you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm good, homie. Just enjoying the nice weather. It's beautiful here this weekend in Toronto. Spring is here.
Same here.
Yeah, man. Just been out. I just got back in. It was out there, downtown, just checking things out, enjoying the weather. Yeah, it's been great.
Right. So let's jump to talk about music for a sec, because I know that video "Truth in Me" is recent, and when I checked it out, I was like, I definitely have to talk to this guy, because he put in the work of like the way the bars and everything and the wordplay and stuff. I really messed with it. I liked it a lot, so definitely had to talk to you. So where'd you shoot the video? Was it in Toronto or?
It was actually out in Hamilton.
Okay.
We decided to go out there because we've done a lot of shoots here in Toronto, and we wanted to find some new locations. And also the lockdown restrictions in Toronto were pretty tight, but they weren't out in that region. So decided to go out there, and we had a bit more freedom with what we were able to do. And turned out pretty dope.
Okay. And I guess who shot that video actually?
Patrick Younger. His name is Illa Shooter on Instagram, but he's really dope. He's done a lot of videos for me. We've done about 4 videos together now, and I've always met. I think about 4 years we've been working together. So yeah,
Okay.
he's a really cool kid.
Great. He's very good at the video work, because it definitely couldn't do it. I mean, I've put some videos together, but I can't do the work he does. That's for sure. But and
he's been working at it a long time. He's got a good eye, and he's done a lot of different types of shoots, not just music videos. So over the years, he's been honing his skills, and he just gets better and better.
That's important. So, and that track is from a project you released last year?
Yeah, it's a Guiding Light in a Dying World. It's produced by Dirty Dane, who's a producer from Halifax. And I just released that one independently. It came out last year, like during, when COVID was really starting to hit. It came out around the same time. And I felt like a lot of people slept on the release. So we've just been putting out videos to try and bring attention to it now that people are where it's a year later now. We're trying to say, hey, in case you missed it, there's this release. So yeah, we put out 10 Toes last year, towards the end of last year, which is another song from the album, and now we got Truth in Me, which is the second video we put out. So yeah, hopefully that brings more attention to it for people.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely share the link, if you have the link you want to send me, to the project for people to go and stream it or buy it, however it's set up. I could put the link in the description after. So just send me the links and I'll have them posted down there. I mean, I don't have tons of followers yet, but I'll keep pushing it. I don't care about numbers. I care about just people seeing it, and if someone sees it, at least one person saw it. That's all that matters to me.
Dope.
So, how about COVID? How you feeling with it all down there? I know it's a lot harder down there right now. We just went back in the red zone, so.
Well, we're kind of like wishing that we were in the red zone. We've been in the gray lockdown. We had a stay-at-home order, and basically we've been in lockdown since November of last year, and technically we're still in lockdown. They just opened patios this weekend, and the malls were opened last Monday. So there's been some easing of the restrictions, but technically we're still in lockdown, and yeah, the numbers are still pretty high in Toronto. So it's just it's been difficult for Torontonians, like not having community centers and things like that.
Definitely.
But I mean, there's not much we can do about it. They just we just got to hope that our numbers come down so we can start enjoying some of the things that we used to get to do before the pandemic.
I miss live shows, man.
Yeah, I mean, as an artist, it's frustrating because it doesn't seem like we're going to have the opportunity to do live shows like we used to for quite some time. There's certain areas where they've done live shows, but everybody has to sit in tables, and the you're not allowed to move on stage. You got to kind of stay in one area. So there's some glimmer of hope for shows, but I don't think they're going to be the way that they used to be for a long time. Whereas, crowd surfing or, crowds that are like moving around and packing the stage and like trying to like, mosh pits or anything like that. I don't see happening anytime soon. But, as an artist, as someone who enjoys performing, and it's a big part of why I got into music. It's frustrating not being able to do that, but I understand that these are crazy times, and there's nothing normal about what's going on right now. So we just have to try to adapt as best we can.
You're very right. I agree with you 100%. And there is a glimmer of hope for shows. And while we're speaking about how it's affecting like shows and stuff, I know it's not the government's issue when it comes down to independent artists, but like the independent artists who get a lot of bookings and are getting paid for their live performances before COVID, this is hurting their pocket now too. You know what I mean? Because they were probably living off shows and sales on their albums, whatever it may be, and now they're just hoping to get a virtual show that'll pay. You know what I mean? So it's affecting independent artists' pockets too, and people forget that a lot of independent artists put money in to make money. You know what I mean? They spend money to make money a lot of the time, so it's affecting independent artists. I'd assume hard hitting pretty bad. So
yeah, it's difficult financially. I'm used to doing a quite like at least 2 or 3 tours every year. I haven't been able to do that in the past year. But luckily, the government's been pretty supportive of artists. As long as you can prove that you made a certain amount of money, then they will give you some support. But it's obviously it's nothing what some of the artists were used to making, and I think that's why a lot of artists have started opening Patreon accounts, and for the fans that want to support, they can get a bit of steady income from like exclusive releases and stuff like that.
yeah.
So the online shows, I mean, those are good once in a while. Obviously, it's not like going to a different city every night.
No.
It's not like not selling the same amount of merchandise as you would have, like having a merch table and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the entertainment industry in general, has been affected. Unless you're in like film production or television production, then I think you're okay. But if you were anywhere involved with music, it's really difficult to make a living right now. And I think some people have had to switch careers. They've had to maybe go back to their old careers, whatever it was, and just to make ends meet. But like I said earlier, these are the times that we're living in right now. It's not normal, and sometimes when things are crazy like they are right now, you gotta be willing to make changes and adapt in order to survive. So yeah, exactly. I mean, music is something that I'm very passionate about, and I know there's a lot of artists out there that feel the same. And as long as you keep that passion and you're still being creative and still putting out content and making music and stuff, then hopefully someday we can get to the point where we're doing tours and stuff like that again. But in the meantime, as long as you're making music and you enjoy doing it, you know, just try and hang on to that.
Exactly. I see a lot of artists still putting out projects and EPs and stuff like especially recently one of them to mention in the Toronto scene was Young Stitch and Junk's project there that hit #1. Shout out to Young Stitch. He's on the podcast for season 1 this time, and yeah, so I mean some people are still doing like a really really great thing with their music without doing the live shows still, so you could see the people who are still doing the music for wanting to do the music because they know that's what they do. It's just in them. It's what they're passionate about. It's what they want to do. So I see that and I get that energy and that vibe from you when I listen to your music. I could see that you like the writing process, and I'm sure I might be mistaken, but I've got a idea that you go over your writing a lot before you record it, as most people should, but not everybody does. But I feel like you revise it, or at least try to see if you could change something to make it better on another angle for a different reason. Whatever your concept is, whatever the substance of the track is, I get that vibe from you. So
Yeah, definitely. You know, I try to make changes as I'm going. I like to put a lot of thought into all the bars, you know, and you know, as I'm writing, I definitely put a lot of thought into each line before I actually type it out. And then sometimes I'll go back and you know, I'll be like, no, that could be tighter, that could fit better, that could be more meaningful. That, or I start going off on in a direction that's not really keeping with where I started, and I say like, no, you're starting to trail off now. Let's keep it focused, and I'll bring it back and then revise it like you said. And yeah,
right.
I don't like to put work that's just kind of lazy. You know, I like to put a lot of effort into it. Otherwise, you know, I'm pretty critical of my own work, and if I feel like something was just sloppy and poorly written, then I'm definitely gonna like go back and be like,
Right.
I won't record it in the first place. More, you know, I want to make sure it doesn't have to be perfect because I don't believe that there is such a thing, but I feel like it has to be up to a certain standard. And over the years, putting out music, I feel like I've been able to maintain a certain standard with my work. And yeah, if it doesn't meet that standard, it's not people aren't going to hear it. That's for sure.
Right. Okay. And yeah, no, I think most artists are usually like that. They're self-critical of themselves the most. You know, they're always their own worst critic. They usually say. I think a lot of artists have that feel in them when they're trying to chase the dream and trying to do what certain artists are doing. Like, so I think a lot of artists are similar in that way. And yeah, no, it's definitely been great listening to your music recently. Like, I didn't catch the project last year because I wasn't really social media buzzing myself. I was lurking and stuff like that, but definitely want to check out the full project as a whole, so I can listen from front to back. And I mean, I don't know if you have physical copies. I'll cop a physical copy if you have any.
Yeah, that one was just online. The
Okay.
in the Dying World, but there's another album that came out last year on Black Buffalo Records, and that's Blood, Sweat, and Tears 2. And that one came out on CD and vinyl. And yeah, it's basically a collaboration between me and producer slash MC that I've worked with for a while named Royce Birth. And
Right.
we originally made an album together, I think 10 years ago, called Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and it kind of became an underground classic. And it took us 10 years to make a sequel. So I believe in January of last year, we released that. So that's the physical copies. My most recent album that there's physical copies of, and
Okay.
that you can, like, I have copies, and my label Black Buffalo Records, they have copies. So yeah, that's definitely a project that I'm proud of. But again, everything that got released around that time, January, February, March of last year, the whole world was going into lockdown, and a lot of people weren't really paying attention to new releases when it came to music. I think people were really worried about the future and what was going on in the world, so I feel like a lot of music got slept on last year. But it's like you said, it's not all about the views and stuff. It's about being productive and just creating, because it's what we
I
love to
think
do.
I think it could help and inspire people during times like this, man. Like the people that are struggling with mental health and stuff like that. Like they could get inspired to pick up a craft or art of any sort. It doesn't have to be music, but that's what I was saying in my podcast. We talk a lot about mental health on the podcast. That's a big focus on it. But we definitely think and agree on the last two episodes that music is a big one. You hear a lot of people who struggle with mental health say they go to music for help, and it helps them channel their emotions or deal with what they're dealing with. You know what I mean? So definitely a good thing to rely on. As for the Blood, Sweat, and Tears 2, the physical copies you have, I'll talk to you later about, because I'll take one of those, because I still like having a CD.
Yeah,
I don't know. Blame me. I was born in the 90s. I still like CDs.
yeah.
But
Hey man, that's why we make them, because there are people that still,
I like vinyl
that,
too. I love vinyl too. I mean, but it's probably out of my price range at the moment with
yeah.
what's going on. But definitely want to check out both projects. I want to check out the one that you released online, Guiding Light. You said to
Yeah, Guiding Light in a Dying World. That's
Guiding Light in the Dying World. That's my mistake. Sorry, brother.
Spotify, Apple Music. It's on my Bandcamp, fortunato.bandcamp.com. And it's a pretty short project. It's about 7 songs. Some of the songs are pretty short. It's just a quick little vibe, that something that me and that producer put out just for something, and actually, turned out a lot better than I expected it, and the response has been pretty good. So,
Well, congratulations, bro. I'm really, really happy to hear that. Just a couple more questions, and I'll let you go. You're in Toronto right now. What of the overall scene? What's your perspective of it right now? How do you look at it as an artist, or as a person, rather, or as both? Answer as both. Answer as an artist, and then as yourself.
Sure. Well, when it comes down to the scene here in Toronto, it's a lot of groups of people who've been working together for a long time. So you have like little kind of, there's not a lot of connection throughout the community. I feel like everybody's kind of in their own little cliques, and I don't know if that's if it's a fear of branching out, or some people have been burned by working with people they're not familiar with. So people, they stick to what they know, and they work with people they know. So it's tough when you're an outsider, for me, I'm from Toronto, but most of my music connections come from outside of Toronto. I worked a lot in Ottawa. I did a lot of work out in the Maritimes. And most of my connections, like the label that puts out my music now, they're based in Halifax. A lot of people that listen to my music, they're from outside of Toronto. So, being based in Toronto, I feel like I was really frustrated with the scene here, especially like back in the day, because it was hard to to really find people to work with that,
Right.
And so I feel like the scene here is very, very segregated. It's very isolated, even though there's a lot of people in this city. Most people aren't openly collaborating with each other. That's from an artistic perspective. And just as a person, I think that, there's a lot of a lot of great artists in Toronto. Unfortunately, it seems that there's a lot of gang stuff and crime, and that's kind of interwoven into the hip hop scene here in Toronto. So you've seen a lot of murders, you've seen a lot of
We
incarceration,
have.
and it's the environment that a lot of these rappers are growing up in, and that they're the people that they surround themselves with. I feel like sometimes people get dragged down by that, and it's sad that so many of the up and coming artists from Toronto post Drake, after and since Drake has blown up, there hasn't been another guy to really like step up and do it. And as soon as it seems like someone's going to get to that point, there's either they get locked up or someone gets killed or something like that. So unfortunately, that's part of what plagues the scene here in Toronto is, the all the gun violence and everything else that goes along with it. So
Right.
hopefully the Toronto can find a way to get past that, and our future stars can find a way to make their mark without having to go down that path.
Exactly. That's it. It's just product of their environment a lot of the time and connections that they're dealing with. I
Right.
think it's about opening up, like you said, and I think if they opened up, they'd have a more open mind and see that what they're doing isn't going to help what they're trying to do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, and awesome that your label's based out of Halifax. I love the Maritimes. Shout out to Nova Scotia. Shout out to New Brunswick. Shout out to PEI. Shout out all of the Maritimes.
Yeah.
Great, peaceful, loving place. Love it. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
And how long have you been with them?
This will be my second year. We started speaking to each other about in 2019, and then my first release came out in 2020, and now my next release is going to be in 2021. I think in August. Well, you can look forward to my new album dropping, and it's actually a collaboration with me and an MC from PEI. Her name's Lavender, and she's really really talented, and right now she's got a lot of popularity. DJ Premier just played her song on his show on Shade 45.
Really?
So yeah, so she's getting a good buzz behind her. I've been working with her for almost 2 years now, and we had this album ready. We just needed to do the finishing touches on it, and now the artwork's done, everything's ready. So yeah, in August of this year, you can look out for Moonwater. That's going to be my new album with Lavender, and that'll be on Black Buffalo Records.
Okay, definitely. And I'm gonna definitely check out Lavender, try to get her on either this show or the podcast in the future.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So, I mean, I guess that's it. It was great meeting you, getting an introduction of you. I'll definitely have you on the podcast for season 2 if you'd like to come on and talk mental health and stuff like that. That's a big dive we speak on in addiction, and we're trying to help and inspire people. And even if it reaches one person, then great. It's called On the Line With. That's the username that I'm on Instagram with. And this is just the YouTube mini series to get artists every Sunday to be introduced and see who will possibly be on the next podcast, etc., etc. So, hope you'll come on the podcast. We could talk more, longer, and like I said, it's great that you're here, and I appreciate you debuting the RUMCHATS mini-series with me. So I guess I'll let you take us out. I'll just let everybody know it's your boy Hanley. This has been RUMCHATS. It's Fortunato. Check out his video Truth in Me. Check out his project, and be sure to check out his project coming out with Lavender. It was called Moonwater.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. I'll let you take us out if you'd like. Go ahead. Anything you'd like to say, and then
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm glad I was able to be on the first episode. You know, you only get a first time once, and it's I always love doing that. The inaugural episodes of anything. You know, I just like I like to be the first one to just to break that ground and yeah, so thanks for having me. And everybody look forward to, like you said, Moonwater dropping August, Black Buffalo Records with the homie Lavender. Check out Guiding Light in the Dying World. That's my album with the video right now. Truth in Me, which is on my YouTube channel. And yeah, at I am Fortunato. That's my social media handle on Twitter, Instagram.
Follow
all that. So yeah, follow me. Keep checking back. Lots more in store for 2021. So yeah, keep it tuned.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna take it, I ain't waiting, no. Cause I'm racing, no debating what they hating for. I just do this for the music, it's the truth in me. No confusing what I'm doing, ain't no moving me. I can make it, I ain't dying waiting, I'm gon' get it now before my time is up. Rhyming diamonds cause I keep on shining, I'm defining, grinding, ain't no eye in us. Everything is always you and me, I always got you baby for your every need. True to the game, there's no need to explain. We two in the same, you put fuel on my flame. Get that little genie, let's do it again. Airbnb, you can call up your friends. I've been so alone with no place to go home, and I had no possession, was nothing I owned. Wandered the streets, I was hoping for beef, cause I had no pursuits, just a head full of grief. Trying to escape all the pain that I faced. Every promise I make always ends in defeat. Felt to disgrace all the women I chased. I could never go back, I was lost in my ways. Found a way out, started shedding my doubt. I got pain and I'm proud cause I'm still on this ground, still on this earth, and I know what I'm worth. Used to live life with no hope like a curse. I'm bursting with flames I can never contain. All the words in my brain got me acting insane. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna take it, I ain't waiting, no. Cause I'm racing, no debating what they hating for. I just do this for the music, it's the truth in me. No confusing what I'm doing, ain't no moving me. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna take it, I ain't waiting, no. Cause I'm racing, no debating what they hating for. I just do this for the music, it's the truth in me. No confusing what I'm doing, ain't no moving me. I'm gonna make